Extraordinary times we are living in demand extraordinary sacrifices, understanding and awareness from each and every one of us. Our common heritage as a people is under immense threat, and our limits as a society is being tested to its core. I have said this before, that this is the time for all of us to fight from the same side. If we do not do that, this virus will get the better of us. The measures we have so far put in place, which include the targeted mass testing, offer an opportunity to effectively fight this war. And we fight together, not against each other. To our brothers and sisters in quarantine and isolation centers, we know what you are going through. Most of you have kept the promise, except for a few who have wavered. Everybody is being called upon to make a little sacrifice. It is much better to be counted as among those who helped keep COVID-19 at bay than to be counted as the inconsiderate few who have failed to appreciate the danger that this pandemic presents. What is required is a little bit more patience, sacrifice, and understanding from you, your families, friends, and Kenyans at large. We are also aware that within the same institutions, a number of people are going to the extent of offering bribes to get out of quarantine facilities. This is wrong. I am aware, for example, that in the county of Mandela, there are people, and this has been confirmed to me by the governor, that there are people who bribed their way out of quarantine. Both those who did that and those who let them off will face the full force of the law. You have also noted that there are people who are not complying with the movement restrictions in and out of counties and even from neighboring countries. On this, I want to caution truck drivers who I'm informed are smuggling people from one restricted area to another. I want to tell such irresponsible persons that they are rolling back our efforts to fight this disease. The enforcement agencies are there to deal with these issues, not to become participants in it. I am informed, for example, and this illustrates exactly what we are saying. The governor of Homa Bay informed me this morning of a group of people who traveled from Nairobi in a private vehicle, pretending that they were attending a funeral, fully equipped with an empty coffin, to illustrate that indeed that they were mourners. Those people traveled all the way from Nairobi during this period when we were stopped movement from Nairobi. They managed to come from Nairobi, traveled all the way to Homa Bay, and thanks to the Homa Bay Authority, Governor's Authority, and administration, somebody got suspicious. And on opening the coffin, obviously found out what I am now informing you. They were immediately put in quarantine. And today, I can confirm that the driver is positive. This is what we are talking about. This person has now taken the disease to Homa Bay, where we have now tested the first positive case in Homa Bay. Ladies and gentlemen, this is what I am telling Kenyans. That until and unless we become self-disciplined this disease is going to finish us. Ladies and gentlemen, fellow Kenyans, I am informed that there are people transporting, even in matatus, into and out of the city. And once they get to a roadblock, they pay and come round the roadblock and walk and are taken again by an empty vehicle or otherwise. In other words, transporters are organizing themselves to pick at each point where there is a roadblock. I am also informed that there are individuals who now have decided that if you come from Nairobi and they know that you came from Nairobi, then they call the authorities and let them know instantly. I want to applaud those people. I want to say that if we all participated, if you inform the police, when you know that there is a person who is not supposed to be there, who is there, then we will handle this disease better. I am not trying to incite Kenyans against each other, but I am trying to say that information about a person who you know very well was in Kisumu or Nyeri or Mombasa, and you know that they are now in Nairobi and they are not supposed to be here, please inform the police, inform the authorities, because that person may very well be your killer. What the people who are modeling for us are telling us is that depending on the level of discipline, that the results for this country, the number of people who will die in this country, or the number of people who will not die in this country, will depend purely on the level of discipline that we exhibit going forward. There are models that say that we could lose as many as 28,000 Kenyans dead as a result of this disease, unless we start observing certain measures and ensuring that we do social distancing and every other measure that we have been told. In the last 24 hours, we have doubled our testing capacity to test 1,115 samples. Out of these, 16 have tested positive for the coronavirus disease. We are now 262, the number of confirmed cases in our country. By now, you'll have noticed that the higher the samples, the higher the number of cases. This speaks both to the urgency to test Kenyans in the targeted areas I have said, and for every Kenyan to assume that the person next to you is a contact who could be carrying the disease. 15 of these cases who have tested positive are Kenyans and 1 is a foreigner. 12 male and 4 female. None of those has a history of travel, and none of those cases are in our quarantine centers. 9 from Nairobi, 5 from Mombasa, and as I said, 1 from Homa Bay County, each between 23 and 84 years old. And I can also add here that the 84 years old was a person who also believed in treating people via herbal medicines, herbalist. I'm delighted to announce also that we have 7 people discharged today, bringing the number of recoveries to 60. But at the same time, I am also sad to say we have lost an additional 2 more patients, bringing the number of those dead to 12. And I want to send our condolences to the families of the 2 victims. To bring this matter home closer to those of us who live in Nairobi, let me emphasize this, that there is no estate now that doesn't have an individual around you who may well be positive. For example, and these are just pure examples. In the Kilimani area, there are 6 cases in the Kilimani area. We have 3 we have picked from the Kawangware area. Karen has 5 people. Pipeline Estate has 5 individuals. Utawala has 4. Mlolongo, we got somebody. As you know, Isili, there was an imam who was preaching and who was going to various houses, has died of COVID. So what we are saying in a nutshell, ladies and gentlemen, is that there is no place that is not affected. If you go to Buruburu, we have got cases in Buruburu, we have got cases in Utawala, we have got cases in Tasia, we have got cases in Parklands, and so on. We have got a case in Donholm, Hurlingham, Madaraka, and others also who are on the list. Gara, we have 2 cases in Gara, and the 2 cases in Gara presented themselves to a clinic and are positive. So because of this, we are also advising all health workers, whether you work in a private farm, in a private clinic, whether you work in a government clinic, whether you are the receptionist, or whether you are the askari in that health facility, because you do not know whether the next person who walks in there will be a positive case, please protect yourself all the time. Ensure you are wearing a mask. Under no circumstance should you receive a patient without the necessary protection. Just if.
The stringent measures that the government intends to take within Nairobi